Lesson 12-1. The objective for this example is to learn to estimate the likelihood of an event. And this is focusing on probability. And probability is how likely an event is to occur. And we use probability all the time. Mostly we hear it in terms of weather, whether it's likely or unlikely to rain, or games, whether if you're playing baseball, are you likely to hit a home run or is it unlikely for you to do that? So probability can be looked at in a couple of different ways. It can be done as a number, as a decimal from 0 to 1, and in between you could say that that's 5/10. It could also be looked at as a fraction, so 0 to 1 with 1/2 in the middle, or as a percentage from 0% to 100% and 50% being in the middle. We give terms to these different places between 0 and 1. If something has a 0 chance of happening or a 0% chance of happening, we say that it's impossible. There's no likelihood that it will happen at all times. It's never going to happen. If something is a 100% chance or 1 whole, that we would say that that is certain chance. It is absolutely going to happen every single time. In the middle we have it's as likely to happen as to not happen. And you'll often hear this referred to as the 50-50 chance. It's just as great a chance as it to happen as to not happen. Over in this section over here, between impossible and 50-50 is unlikely. It's not impossible that something's going to happen, but it's going to happen rarely. Not as much as the opposite. Between the 50-50 and certain is likely. It means it's going to happen more often than not. It may not happen every single time, but you have a greater chance of it happening than not happening. So, for example, let's say that we have a number cube, a die here, and we want to know where the likelihood is of rolling an even number on this cube. Well, I know that on this particular cube we have 3 odd numbers, a 1, a 3, and a 5, and I know that I have 3 even numbers, a 2, a 4, and a 6. So I have just as great a chance as rolling an odd number as I do an even number. So my chances of rolling an even number are as likely as not, or 50-50. What if I wanted to know the likelihood of April having 30 days? Well, I know that here's a calendar for April. Here's the month of April. And I see here that April has 30 days in it. And I know that every month, I've gone through enough Aprils, that every month April has 30 days. And so if it always happens, it's 100% or it's certain that April will have 30 days. Well, I could also look at a spinner. This is something that happens a lot with games. So here I have a spinner and I have 4 colors, red, green, yellow, and blue. And I'm playing this game and I want to figure out, well, how likely is it that I'm going to land on blue? Blue's the winning move that I want to get. Is it likely that I'm going to get blue? Is it unlikely? Well, here's the section of blue. Here is the section that's not blue. So I have there's a greater possibility of me landing on something that's not blue than is. So my likelihood of landing on blue, it's not very likely. It's unlikely. Probably somewhere right around in this point on this graph too. It's more likely I'm going to land on another color other than blue. Let's say I want to land on purple. If this is my spinner, what's the likelihood of landing on purple? Well, there is no purple on there. So my likelihood is it's never going to land on purple. There's a 0% chance it's impossible to land on purple.